Wheel pose is powerful, beautiful, and honestly can really wreak havoc on your back if you repeatedly work with the wrong back bending technique. So in this video, I'm going to help you break down the 3 most common mistakes in wheel pose and how to fix them so that you have a strong back bend within the wheel pose and a sustainable yoga practice. Let's get to it. If your wheel pose looks like this and there's a lot of pressure in your low spine and your shoulders are screaming and you're having a hard time extending your elbows, your feet are turned out, your ribs are flared, then let's fix it. These are some common things that happen in wheel pose, and it's not the pose's fault. It's the technique behind how you're approaching it. So the number 1 mistake I see in wheel pose is that we're lifting from the low spine instead of lifting with your chest, your arms, and the use of your very strong legs. So you'll come into wheel pose, and if I think about using where most people want to, they're like, let's just lift up, let's lift up. And so you lift up, and if I think that, I get stuck in that weird wheel pose where the elbows can't straighten and the feet start to turn out and everything starts to fall apart. So instead, I want you to think about your chest, not going up, but lifting and going this way. I'm thinking about the momentum of the pose is this. It's not this, all right? So if I think about it going that way, then everything becomes so much easier. Boom, chest goes forward. And now I'm in this really nice wheel pose. It feels so much better. Now, let's talk about your ribs. That's right, your ribs. It's a big deal what's happening through your ribs and your core when you're in a deep back bend like wheel. And if you're disengaged through your core muscles, your abdominal wall, it's going to go right into your low spine. And so it's all in the setup. Make sure, notice I'm folding shoulders into each other and my ribs are already off the mat. So I'm actively lifting the ribs away from my hips at this point. And from here, before I lift up, I'm going to engage my ribs, or close and knit the ribs together. It's a very subtle shift, but if you look closely, this is me doing nothing with the ribs, and this is me closing and really pulling the belly button into the spine. Now, once I have knitted the ribs together and I go to lift up, when I think about that, and really pulling the ribs away from the hips and pulling the belly button into the spine, I have such a nice, even back bend. And as you can see that there's a lot of bend happening through the thoracic spine as I pull the chest forward, and then didn't end up all in my low back. So often in wheel pose, what happens is you begin to turn your feet out and the knees start to splay apart, which means that you've forgotten about your legs and the back bend. It's just very, very common. Most yoga teachers just concentrate on you going back instead of what's going on to the whole body. And your legs, your feet, your hips are a huge part of what make a back bend technically correct and feeling great in your body. And isn't that the whole point of yoga, is you want to feel really great in your body. So when you come to push up into wheel, and dropping back to wheel is different, but I will say I often see people drop back and they're running, their feet are just way turned out, which means they're using very different muscles in their legs than needed. And so if you are one of those people that drop back to wheel and your feet are turned out, I urge you to correct that mistake and start getting the toes a little bit more parallel to each other in your drop back. You can do it. You can do it without turning the toes out, I promise you. All right, you can also lift up without turning the toes out instead of riding this, I don't know, it's like an internal hip rotation thing. It's also, you know, a lot of the times the body is protecting itself from something. So if you find wheels scary, then the body is going to put in all of these like stop signs, and so it's going to make your feet and your legs weird. It's going to make your arms do weird things to stop you from going into the posture. But once you have the knowledge and you work with the fear instead of against it, you can solve all of these problems. So make sure that your toes are parallel, your heels are really close to your seat. Like the closer you can get them to the seat, the better. I have a really long torso, but you know, if you can grab your ankles and bring them close to your heels, that's going to be a really good place to be. So we're going to use our feet. So this is why we practice bridge pose, right? Is so that you get used to lifting up and using your feet and your legs and your glutes, your super strong glutes, to help you lift up into the bend. So adding that on from, you know, making sure that you're lifting the chest this way. We have the core engaged now and the ribs are knitted in. Now we're really gonna think. I want you on this wheel, so I hope you're moving with me, to really think about my feet and my legs and how powerful they're gonna be. So take a breath in, always move into a back bend and an exhale, and let's go. Breathe in, exhale, use your feet. Oh my goodness. Once you start connecting to your legs a little bit more, you're gonna feel like unstoppable in your wheel pose. You should be able to move your feet. You should be able to move your hands. You should not feel stuck in the bend. You should feel movable. So make sure that as you progress in the posture, that you start to work for those things. And this is why we then develop it into a one-legged wheel, into a one-armed wheel, into a one-legged, one-armed wheel. It is possible, and I do teach that sometimes. So know that it is possible to take your wheel further and further and further. Wheel pose doesn't have to hurt. Please remember that. In fact, backbends shouldn't really hurt at all. So if you're in a class or working with a teacher that says your back is going to hurt when you do a back bend, then you need to find someone that can help you develop correct back bending technique. Believe me, I did backbending. I've been backbending for 20 years, and I believe that the first 10 to 15 years I was using zero technique because no one really taught technique. They just said go into the backbend, and so I did. I have developed this technique over those 20 years because I started feeling broken for my backbends, and so now I teach people the correct way to move into these deeper bends. So if that sounds like something that just would light your whole practice up, then come join me through my online yoga studio, the Tori G Yoga online yoga studio. It's for women 40 plus, so 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, who are not looking to back away from their yoga practice, want to develop it and see how far they can take things, gaining strength, improving their flexibility and their mobility as they age. And let me tell you, we have women all the way up into their 70s doing amazing things. So do not let your age stop you from taking a chance on developing a fully integrated and sustainable advanced yoga practice. You can do this. So especially right now, we have our Backbend Blueprint Immersion. So this is in the spring of 2025. And we've already completed workshop 1, but we have 3 more workshops to go. This is where you're gonna get great foundations in your backbending technique. And I would love to have you with us for this. You can access it through my studio on an all-access membership. So go click in, I'll leave the link below. If that's too much right now, then make sure that you pick up my freebie on backbends that are gonna tell you the 3 secrets to having the best backbends possible. It really will change the way you think about your bends, and that is absolutely free. So you can go check that out as well. I'm always grateful to connect with you, and I hope to see you in one of my online yoga classes soon. Have a great one.